Usually, fences that look solid are very heavy, so they require a strong foundation. This fence is lightweight, but it looks solid. Our option could revolutionize fence construction. You can even surround the $1,000 house with it. This kind of fence is many times cheaper than brick fences, concrete fences, Euro picket fences, or wooden fences. Our fence uses the latest technology, making it strong, lightweight, and easy to install. I managed completely without any heavy concrete work. All the components of this kind of fence are sold at any hardware store and easily fit in the trunk of a car. You can build this fence in one spot, transport it in your vehicle, unload it easily, and quickly set it up elsewhere. The process is very simple, easy, and creative, so even women can handle it. These fences will make our homes and properties as beautiful as luxurious Mediterranean oligarch villas. Get luxury for next to nothing. With just a little enjoyable work, we'll be surrounded by a fence that pleases the eye with the beauty of natural materials. Minimum effort, maximum beauty. Viewers of the Yasha Koshak Songs channel will be the first to learn this important information. Let's review everything step by step. Hello everyone. I buy commonly available ingredients at the hardware store that can easily fit in any car. As in several previous projects, my main building material is Penoplex Comfort. I make the sheets rough using a saw blade detached from its handle. This time, I definitely wanted to buy the rough extruded polystyrene Penoplex wall right away. I even called the store to check if it was in stock, but right before I got there, it was all sold out. They said the next batch would arrive tomorrow, but I'm really itching to get started, so I'm roughening up Penoplex Comfort again. It's very easy to do, the sheets are 3 centimeters thick. There are 13 centimeters of these in a pack. The size is just under 1 meter, 20 centimeters by 60 centimeters. I glue the sheets into one large blank using polyurethane construction foam adhesive. A little goes a long way. This is my third project from a single can. After about 20 minutes, I trim the excess glue. I cut alkali-resistant fiberglass mesh with a 5x5 meat grid to match the width of the glued extruded polystyrene blank. I try to buy mesh that doesn't fall apart into fibers. This one is blue, made here in Belarus. Its density is 160 grams per square meter. When choosing, I also pay attention to the tensile strength of the fiberglass mesh. This is the maximum mechanical force the material can withstand before breaking. This parameter is indicated on the label and is measured in newtons per 5 centimeters. The higher it is, the stronger the mesh. For this mesh, it is 1,900 by 1,900. Tearing this mesh lengthwise or crosswise requires over 1,900 newtons per 5 centimeters. I'm mixing a plaster-adhesive compound that's used for insulating building facades. It's used to glue foam board or facade sheets of mineral wool to the walls that need insulation. Next, I use the same compound to form a reinforcing base layer on the surface. I'm now creating this layer on the future fence. Since the workpiece is quite large, I'm plastering it in stages. 3 glued sheets, and the PPS is almost 1.8 meters wide, and the PPS is almost 1.8 meters wide. 3.5 in length is a whole 4 meters and almost 20 centimeters. About 8 SQs meters. The reinforcing layer, just a few millimeters thick, sets and dries fairly quickly in warm weather. Such plaster mixes take quite a long time to reach their full strength, at least 28 days. They contain cement and polymer additives. So, when the mixture sets, I finish the fence ends with a utility knife. The fence blank, which is over 4 meters long, remains quite light, so it's not difficult at all to flip it over to the other side. It seems flimsy now, but trust me, that's temporary. I'm cutting off the excess glue that has come out on the other side as well. I'm a self-taught plasterer. You might call me part of a new generation. To avoid wasting time acquiring a skill that professional plasterers spend years mastering, I simply place the surfaces that need plastering horizontally. And in terms of application speed, I think I could even keep up with a professional. Everyone who tried to follow my example succeeded. This method allows you to quickly turn anyone into a plasterer, no matter what they did before. Earth's gravity doesn't hinder us by dropping mortar from vertical walls. Instead, it helps secure it better on horizontal surfaces. You can easily check it yourself. You'll need a trowel to scoop from the bucket, a stainless steel float with both a notched and a flat side for spreading the mixture, and a wide putty knife for final smoothing. The layer is thin, so you don't need any guides or screeds. And it's also a great workout. If you don't have any serious musculoskeletal disorders or other major illnesses, you'll be guaranteed a boost of energy. Next up, so to speak, is the New Viewer Minute. This is a quick update for new viewers of Yasha Koshek Song's channel. I've already built quite a lot using this method. It's all very simple. I throw the mixture on with a trowel. With the notched side of the float, I spread it over the surface. The notched side is used for even application. The stripes are glued, so everything's great. The overlap of the fiberglass mesh layers should be at least 10 centimeters. I'm laying the mesh. With the flat side of the trowel, I press the mesh into the glue and smooth it out. Friends, many projects on the Pesny Yashi Koshika channel are experimental and should be tested over time. Therefore, repeating them is entirely your own responsibility. With a wide putty knife, I make it as even as possible. This is the main process. Because the workpiece is wide and I used a large putty knife, I made some minor unevenness mistakes while leveling the surface. I easily fix them when the layer has set but is still fresh enough. I chose to drive in the fence posts instead of concreting, filling with rubble, or screwing them in. My first experience was far from great. The post was damaged at the top and cracked along its length. But the inner voice of ancestral genetic memory, who surely knew a thing or two about construction, and Chistokolov, told me what needs to be done to properly drive the future fence post into the ground. Of course, with an adjustment for modern times. I put thick plywood in here. That's why I decided to use a leftover leg from an office desk and a piece of 2-inch board. I also attached metal weights on top. The work went much faster. When driving it in using the table leg as a guide, the future fence post doesn't wobble, and once it's in, it stands firmly. In one view, the post is straight, in the other, it's crooked. I decided to improve the tool for driving stakes by adding a heavier weight. As the new weight, I'm tying a piece of concrete curb to the board. Additionally, ancient Slavs believed that a well-sharpened geometric stake would drive in straighter and more accurately. The wooden stake is an amazing thing. They used it to build palisade fortresses, hunt Zmei Gorenik, and pin him down. Our ancient ancestors were very imaginative. I coat the ground section of the support with the most reliable free folk anti-corrosion agent, used oil. According to belief, it prevents the wood from rotting. I also decided to use a piece of iron square profile pipe with a smaller cross-section than the support, an iron pipe. I'm trying to set the initial correct direction for the wooden post. I've also heard that you need to pour water into the hole. During the driving process, I periodically check the vertical alignment with a level. You can support the innovative ultra-cheap projects being developed on the Pesniyashi Kushiaka channel through the sponsorship button on YouTube. Russians can help develop new simple folk technologies via Boosty. The link is below the video. I can tell the second post is straighter than the first just by looking. Just like at a pharmacy. My genetic memory didn't let me down. I'm marking the locations for the rest of the posts. For a fence section that's a little over 4 meters long, I decided to make 4 of them, about every 1.4 meters. I'm looking for a clean one, but found a dirty one. Water I poured spurted out of the hole. I overdid it. It's a pity it's not oil. I almost forgot to add that I moistened the fast-drying surface. There's cement in the plaster mixes, and it needs moisture. Notice how the strength of the future fence changes when the reinforcing layer is applied to the other side. Previously, my wife and I struggled to lift it because it was wobbly. Now I can lift it alone, and it's totally rigid. Composite material and material strength. Imagine what it'll be like in 28 days when the cement is fully cured. At the same time, it stays lightweight, resulting in low material use and production cost. To test the method for the first time, I decided to make a low fence that will separate our vegetable garden from the orchard, a so-called Euro fence. I cut the workpiece lengthwise with a jigsaw, using a blade I don't mind sacrificing. The dog is, as usual, surprised by our innovations. I mark where the supports go on the workpiece and bring it back under the canopy. The key feature of this fence, which distinguishes it from wooden and profiled sheet fences, is about to be discussed. A huge variety of finishing coatings can be applied to the base reinforcing layer of this type of fence, including those that are usually applied only to permanent fences, and for permanent fences, just the foundation alone costs a fortune. As usual, I will apply the cheapest homemade coating, but at the same time, it's quite beautiful. If you're new to Yasha Koshiak's channel, most content, about 90%, is similar. Penoplex has already built energy-efficient walls and completed flooring and waterproofing for 2 balconies in the House for $1,000 project. Our outdoor toilet, our summer shower, the warm composter for grass, the tall, very warm, super productive garden bed, the filling of the sliding gate, the path along which I'm building this fence, the mini pool bath, which the path leads to, all of these are made about 90% from Penoplex. I even made the septic tank rings, which don't need pumping, from this material. Honestly, I just can't get to the septic tank yet. I hope to install it soon. I'll link detailed videos about this below. Penoplex is commonly used for insulated floors, with Penoplex foundation being ideal. It's strong enough to pour a concrete screed directly over it. For insulating facades, Penoplex wall is the best choice. Its sheets have a slightly rough surface and grooves for adhesive, which improves the material's adhesion to the base and makes installation of the insulation easier. Penoplex Comfort, which I use, is usually applied for insulating roofs, walls, and balconies. When Penoplex is used to insulate facades, it is glued to the walls. Then, just like I do, a base reinforcing layer is created on its surface using similar adhesive and mesh, but of course in a vertical position. Unfortunately, you can't lay a house on its side like a fence blank. These warm facades are widely used, reliable, and have served for decades without issues. Penoplex lasts over 50 years. Penoplex's minimal water absorption allows its use without extra waterproofing in damp areas like baths, saunas, and basements. We've tested this. You can make a cheap sealed mini pool or plunge tub from it, which I now use for water. Everyone had plenty of swimming during the hot summer. Rodents don't chew on Penoplex. It's frost resistant and environmentally friendly. I'm not even mentioning how easy it is to install. Just 3 centimeters of this insulation, in terms of thermal performance, is equivalent to 17 centimeters of dry wooden timber or a brick wall more than 2 bricks thick. Some sheets are 5 or 10 centimeters thick, and you can install them in multiple layers. I can already hear Yasha Kosyak asking, why do you need such a warm fence? In this project, I decided to use extruded polystyrene as the inner layer of an innovative composite material. Not only its low thermal conductivity is used, but all its other properties are utilized as well. It doesn't absorb water, it's strong under compression, mice won't gnaw on it, frost won't damage it, and it will last more than 50 years. And environmental friendliness is also an important factor. The key is that the mixture and reinforcing mesh adhere perfectly. Thousands of square meters of facades made with Penoplex prove this. These are strong arguments supporting the viability of such fences. I applied this natural stone texture in a simple way using the cheapest tile adhesive. I drew the joints with a bent piece of wire. We decorated the path, plunge pool, and composter by the fence in a Mediterranean style, so we're designing the fence to blend in with that look. My wife is already used to decorating new projects. Don't judge us harshly, we're not professionals, just regular people forced by circumstances to work with our hands. As an intuitive psychologist, I may have turned my wife's hobbies from simple pastimes into something that benefits our shared goals. Now my better half channels her emotions into foam board and plaster canvases instead of me. She uses cheap white exterior paint and 5 colorants to create different stone shades. I notice that my wife is getting better and better at this every time. Her mood is also great after such work, and I get caught up in fewer household disagreements. You should consider this too. Most importantly, I'm now almost certain we won't starve. If anything, we'll make something on Rubliovka. We're not Belarusians. I've heard that residents of elite areas can no longer buy luxury goods abroad, including imported fences, and I think such enclosures could become excellent examples. Import substitution is popular. Oligarchs especially favor the Mediterranean style, as tall fences in Rubliovka are prized. They're hiding something from us. The fence is innovative, so the panels require a somewhat unusual way of attaching to the posts. For this, I use bars equal to its height. Unlike major laptop manufacturers who left Russia, Chelyabinsk residents guarantee reliability. The warranty lasts 3 years. On-site repair is available. If they can't fix it immediately, you'll get a free replacement laptop during repairs. The most interesting thing is that the average price of these tough Chelyabinsk laptops is only 30,000 rubles. For comparison, models that have left the market can now be found for 70 to 100,000. The team doesn't aim to create flashy, expensive laptops. They make stable and reliable workhorses for ordinary people. I drive in the remaining 3 posts using a slightly different method. It's easier this way, but takes a bit longer. I use a smaller pipe to immediately shape the hole for the post to full depth. These posts are more than enough to test our version of the fence. The proper post for a fence is actually a topic for another video. When will our Eurofence pass the test? I hope we'll address the missing 80 meters of the proper tall, Slavic 2-meter fence on the property. If so, we'll focus more on the posts. My wife even did the work that I usually do. She covered the fence with a reliable, affordable antiseptic varnish, tinted for plaster, concrete, and stone. The fence cost per square meter includes 1 SQ's meter of 3 cm Penoplex, 2 SQ meters of plaster mesh, about 5 kilos of thermal insulation mix, and 4 kilo of tile adhesive for one side. On the neighbor side, just paint it. Add some paint, varnish, adhesive, and foam. That's all. You can make the top drip edge, for example, out of metal. But tests of the plunge pool material show that it remains durable even with constant full immersion in water, so you can save money on the drip edge. The top edge was reinforced with mesh strips and mortar.